Crap.
Good evening. Welcome to Ball to Conscience. It's me, Tony B, here at Radio Avenue Radio, and tonight we gathered for the premiere of Songs of the Forgotten, a powerful new work by local playwright Arsalan Ibriham. This production is more than a play. It's an act of remembrance, resistance, and truth-telling. Songs of the Forgotten gives voice to stories too often pushed to the margins, stories of people, communities, and histories that refuse to be erased. Through rhythm, memory, and lived experience, this work challenges us to listen more closely, to feel more deeply, and to confront the silence that shapes our world. At Call to Conscience, our mission is to uplift voices that matter, preserve history, and spark dialogue that leads to understanding and action. Tonight's premiere embodies that mission. We're honored to present a homegrown artist whose work reminds us that art is not just entertainment, it is a call, a mirror, and a responsibility. Please join us in opening your hearts and minds as we experience Songs of the Forgotten. And after the final note fades, may these stories stay with us, urging us to remember to reflect and to respond. Thank you for those who are watching from all over the world, and those here. Welcome to the premiere of Songs of the Forgotten, and I welcome to the stage local playwright, the creator of this work, Mr. Arsalan Ibriham.
Okay, that fixes that. Okay, fix that. Let's choose archives. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. It's that second shot of isolated. Yes, sir.
Oh, look, that's it right there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful. Just switch back and forth at your leisure.
Yeah. I figure get a full of, because I had you in the same shot, so.
So eager to learn and ascend as a child ain't known. The soul was his peace. He had already begun picking up a plane called the Loon. His father was absent. His father pretended as if he did not know. He was happy in his son's enthusiasm, but at the same time, he knew that things had to be done in proper fashion. The child sat there, wondering when his father was going to hand him the chord and let him play. His father looked at his son, who stared at him eagerly, and he said calmly, "Before we begin, we must begin at the beginning."
Like crank this way up there on the vocal so that you can hear it more clearly. Now you can tell with these headphones.
Before we begin,
Hear his voice.
we must learn
That's
the
what that
essence
sounds
of the
like.
word.
Now you hear his voice. It was
For it is words,
Okay.
way
the
down
power
here.
of them.
So that is
That
vocals.
is our
I pushed his
tradition.
vocal way up
It
to
is the
there.
trade
Okay.
we
So that
apply.
way you hear his vocal more clearly.
Okay.
On the tape, it was way down here.
Got it.
That's how we should hear it.
Got it.
You must know
Is that
that the
okay
essence
on
of
the
the
levels
word
over here, or is it
is
too loud?
silence.
I think the only way to know for sure is this way.
After a brief silence,
There is just no other way.
he told his son, "Go off and ponder the meaning
There
of
is just
this
no other
riddle.
way.
Return to
peeking.
me when you have understood
He's
it,
peeking.
and your lesson will begin."
There's just no other way. He's peeking. He's peeking. There's just no other way. He's peeking. He's peeking.
The young boy went off by the river. He could not find silence there.
Can you turn it down on that?
Yeah.
The young boy went off to the forest and certainly did not find silence there. young boy ventured into a cave in the forest. He almost found silence there, but not quite. It was late at night, sitting upon that very hill, during the witching hour. The animals had stopped stirring. Even the bugs seemed to fall silent, and he stared up at the stars, got lost in his imaginings.
No, it was okay when I listened over there.
Silence.
But I heard my voice, which was weird.
Deep in the dark.
Why did I
All
hear
he
my
could
voice?
perceive was his own breath.
And when you listened on the phone,
He had come to the answer and went running
When I
home.
was hearing, I didn't hear my voice. When I listened on the phone, I heard my voice.
how was that? You heard your voice.
I heard my voice.
When he at last reached his father, he said, I understand now, I know. The essence of the word is silence, because all words begin with thought. The father was excited, happy. The child who came knowing learned so quickly. He said, in the morning, we will begin your training. I want you to go out amongst the women folk. The women threshing the grain, pounding the mortar and pestle. Seek their wisdom. Do everything that they tell you to, and return to me once they have given you their gift. The boy could hardly sleep that night. He rose early in the morning and hurried off before dawn, right after his prayers. As he approached the women, he could hear them before he could see them. He could hear their mortar as they filled their pestles upon the grain. He could hear the shushing of the sieve as the women used the calabash and sieve to separate the husk from the seeds. The women were raising their pestles high over their heads, these pestles as large as they were, 6 feet or more, and driving them down in the mortar, each in their own syncopated rhythm, working together. Just as one pestle would leave the mortar, another would enter, and they would hit that rhythm and drive it along by singing their songs.
There is this volume on this light, and there's this volume which is gain.
Not far from him, the women threshing the grain with sieve and calabash were right in time. He could hear the music of it all as he approached.
He could hear their songs murmur as he approached it. All of this stimulation triggered his gift. The gift that was his name. The child who came to see us all. He was in another place now, still walking forward, but into an abyss. And off in the distance, he could hear women working and singing the song. This song, similar to the one the women are singing now, but something different to it, in a language he could not quite understand, and words he could not quite make out, but the sentiment was all too familiar. But as these women sang with joy, the women in his vision, they sang through sorrow and hardship. He could hear them just at the edge of his understanding.
What we hear through these speakers is one mix, and it can fool sometimes. So I still like to hear more of him. Here, I'm gonna turn this up a bit. That's
Child came to see us all.
he was doing that.
He could hear the head woman call out his name. I know you well, I know your father sent you to us. I know it's your gift to see us all, but don't let your gift blind you from what needs to be done. He sent you here for a reason, sent you here for a purpose. He sent you here to do work. And we plan on putting you to work. See now, take this calabash. Go out to the well, gather up water. And when you hear us call out for water, you breathe quick. Don't waste any time, and listen closely and carefully as you do. I'm going to show you something once, and I won't show it to you again. Let's see if you can get it right. So the boy went off, gathering up water, running back and forth to that well. And every now and again, in a moment of respite, he would be sitting and listening to the women as they talked about their struggles, talked about their stories, told their songs. Spoke of their hopes and dreams for children. Their struggles living with their husbands. Their joys living with their children and their husbands. Heard them speak of women's secrets. Even saw the untold women scholars approach and teach the women knowledge as they engaged in their works. All the while he would occasionally daydream and hear that song. still now, just at the edge of his understanding. Can't quite make out the words, but he understands the sentiment a bit more every time he hears it. And in the middle of his daydreaming, he hears the woman call out, "Child came to see us all. Wake up from your daydream." I believe you've learned all you came here to learn. All that we can show you anyway. Take this calabash. That's right, the very calabash you was using to gather up water. Take it back to your father and tell him what you've learned. Boy went running back to his father, excited to tell him what he learned. He reached his father and began explaining simply. I sat with the women. I carried water for them. I watched them sift the grain, pound various assortments of produce. Now I realize women are the water. The calabash is their symbol, and like it, they have the womb that carries its water. And just like the woman sifting the seeds with the sieve, the women take on the seeds and determine which ones will grow and which one will be cast away. Women are the water. When I was a child, I was in water, and from water we all come, and to the water we all must return. Women are the water. His father smiled. Now you're beginning to see the world as a jelly sees. Understanding the meaning behind the words. The words, when they're in your mind, mean something to you, something different than they mean to others. The words travel upon the breath. The words are wet like water. They morph and change. The essence of them we share, recognize amongst one another, but ultimately the meaning of it is different to each of us. Just a bit. This is the essence of words. How they change, how they shift. This is our trade. Go now amongst the men. Seek out the blacksmith, the hewers of wood, the workers of stone. Learn from them just as you did from the women. And just as what you did with them, return to me once they have taught you their lesson. Once you have heard their song, bring back to me the gift that they give you. Boy goes running off now towards the blacksmith. And just like with the women, he could hear them before he could see them. He could hear the blacksmith hammers felling upon iron. He could hear the bellows moving like rhythmic drums. He could hear their song, just as he could with the women. But just like with the women, it triggered a vision. The child who came to see us all was now seeing again, seeing through the other eyes, hearing through the other ears. In a time, not quite this time, in a place, not quite this place, where people, not quite these people, but all too similar. In a language he could barely understand, but a sentiment he knew all too well. He could hear their song. How you came to see us all. Wake up from your daydream. I know you well. Your father sent me to you. Then may he teach you a lesson. Said here you do work, just like you did for the women. I see you still have that calabash they gave you. Good, you don't need it. Just like that, we need water. And a lot more than they ever did. You're going to fetch that water as quickly as we need it because these bellows run hot. And this iron needs to be tempered. And here making steel go to the people. You're also going to go out to the forest, see the men at the edge of the forest, cutting down the trees. Just like with the women, I want you to pay attention to everything you see and hear. We're only going to show you once. We expect you to learn. Listen to the song. Hear their stories. And you might just learn a lesson. And so he did, gathering up water for the men, hearing the hammer falls in the distance, hearing them up close, feeling the heat of the forge, hearing the workings of the bellows. The men gathered round, not speaking much at all. And you could hear the men at the edge of the forest cutting down the trees. A tree needed to be felled for making a drum. A djembe for another peer of his who had come of age. going through his own lessons. Watched them gather up the water from his calabash, pour a libation at the base of the tree, and asked the spirit of the tree if they could cut it down and make good use of it. Back now at the blacksmith's forge, he saw men in dispute. Anger and rage between them. They looked as though they were about to come to blows. One stepped to the compound next to the forge and asked for Muso Kontiki, the wife of the blacksmith, the head woman of the compound. She came out. And before the blacksmith ironed, the two men aired their grievance, and the woman heard and mediated their dispute. And when they settled upon an agreement, they both swore upon the iron. And then parted ways peacefully without fighting. He saw more disputes, saw more men gathering together. I saw the hunters come in and ask for implements from the forge. After some time, the blacksmith handed him an iron loop, some implements of wood, a large branch that had been worked into a fine pole. Told the boy, now you're ready. Return to your father with what you've learned from us. Sing our song, tell our story, and tell him the lesson. The boy went running back to his father, excited and ready. His father was there quietly entertaining guests. Asked the boy, child who came to see us all, tell us, who did you see? What did you learn? The boy said, I spent time with the blacksmith as you asked. He said, then tell me what you've learned from the blacksmith. The boy held up the iron rod, the iron loop, and the wood, and he said, men are the iron. Iron is in our blood, it's in our bones. We are trees. We grow in our time. We need the iron for our strength. The iron is hard, and only iron can cut iron. And when it is sharpened in the steel upon the forge, it is blazing hot. The iron is used for all the works that we need and value, and yet at the same time it is used to make war and destruction. When men are at the brink of war, we say war can. Men fight, women suffer. And so a man seeks out the women to mediate the dispute, to prevent us from getting to fighting. Because for all its strength, iron only cuts iron. You place water upon the iron, and it softens. But leave that water on for too long, and the iron can become like dust and blow away in the breeze. And so we seek to walk the balanced path. This is what it is to be a man. Hard iron, soft iron, all in proper time. The father, excited, said, you have yet more to learn. And he took up the implements of iron and wood from his son, and he took up the calabash and said, you won't need these anymore. I'm going to send you out now amongst the people who, workers of the life, the people who gather up life, take life, and reform it for the good of the people. You're going to go out to the fishermen. You're going to go out to the leather tanners. You're going to go out to the cotton workers. Learn from them what they know. Hear their song and return to me with their gifts. The boy, the child who came to see us all, went off to the river, near where the fishermen work, where the tanners were. Where the cotton cloth was being prepared, he heard them first, their mallets falling upon the cotton, pressing in the indigo. They too, in a syncopation, in a rhythm, a music that he could hear and understand. Now, when it's a backdrop of sound and mallets, you notice that they hardly spoke at all. The workers of the loom, the people pounding the indigo, but he sat with them, heard their story. He went off to the river, and there he heard no song, except for the moments of prayer when the fishermen would come in to the shore. But once out upon the river, they were quiet, silent as the grave, best not disturb the fish. He heard the joyous song of the people working in the cotton fields. People in the cotton fields were preparing the fields for the next year's planting. With hoes in hand, they were gathered up in a line, moving forward. The man before them, a jenny, playing an instrument, singing songs to drive the workers forward. Joyful and joyous were their souls, the song. Proceeding forward along the field, turning the soil, letting others be followed. And that music once again got his mind wandering off to some other place. He could hear songs at the edge of his understanding in a place, not quite this place, but familiar. A people, not quite these people, but all the same. In a language he could barely understand, but the sentiment he could understand all too well. A song, first in joy, now sung in hardship and sorrow. He could hear them. Child who came to see us all, your Father sent you to us. Might as well start learning. I know the others put you to work, but this is going to be the hardest work you've ever done. You're going to be running all over the place. Once again, like the others, we need you to gather water, but we need you to do a whole bunch of other things too. We need to gather fishing line for the fishermen. We need cloth to be brought to the weavers in the loom. We need indigo brought in from the field and brought off to those who work it into the cloth. You're going to move between them all. You're going to learn the cycle of things. How we take life from the earth, transform it, and give it right back. All the while, listen to their song, hear their stories, and you just might learn something. Child was saying to see us all. What about those work centers? Like they said, it was hard work. Running back and forth in the heat. Who knew cotton could be so heavy? Indigo so rich it turned his skin blue at the end of every day. When he found respite upon the river, sitting with the fishermen. The work was not easy. The river. The river seemed to carry all the troubles away. And he started to understand why they sat silently upon the river. Time came when he was called in from the river. And there they handed him the implements, the gifts to give to his father. The fishermen gave him fishing line. The weavers gave him fine bogalon and cotton cloth. Bazar and bogalon and canvas. The leather workers gave him strings and skins, and each of them said, remember our story, sing our song, and sent it back to his father. He went racing back, excited and ready to tell the story, to tell him all that he learned. Now back with his father, excited to tell him, he said, Father, I understand now. I heard their story, I heard their song. He said, tell me then, what did you learn from them? We are like the fish in the water. The river produces abundant life, and in time that life gets taken away. But no life truly ends, it all gets refashioned into something else, and transformed. It ultimately returns back to the water that it came from, to be birthed again. They gave me 21 strings. And I understand this is a part of one of my rites and passage riddles. The 21 strings are associated with the first 21 years of our life, all our lives. Every 7 years, we die and are reborn. And the first 3 of those cycles are the most important. At 7, I understand now why you and Mom had a ceremony. You were mourning the death of the infant and welcoming the birth of the child. Time will come shortly, as I am 14 now, when I will go off to do the rites of passage into manhood, and you will mourn the death of the child and welcome the coming home of the man. And then at last, at 21, my voice will be heard in the bar, the great council, where decisions are made. This is what it is to live. This is life, to confront death, to walk through it courageously, and come out the other side reborn. None of us can escape it. Nothing we can do can get us from it. We just have to go through it. The fishermen, the tanners who butcher the animals, the people who gather up the produce from the fields, they are in contact with the death and rebirth of life more than any of us, and they understand this all too well. Now I see and hear their song. The Father, please, takes his son out to the hill. He says all these things that you have gathered will be used to create your Korah. But for now, let us begin your lesson. And his father told him the story of Kelefasani. He taught him the story of Mandingbori, the birth of the Mandingo people. He taught him the stories of the birthrights of all the major professions of the society and all the major peoples. And each story is sang, his son learned, gobbled it up like it was water.
What do we want hosts and guests to go to the bathroom during Black History Month?
We'll just have to come here.
Okay. If that's okay with you. Okay.
And after a year's training, after his rites and passage were completed, his father took him out to the hill just outside of town where it all began.
Speak to his hand, not to disturb stuff.
That can be
He said, sit now,
Say it again.
That can be communicated.
sit now, sit now. in the essence of the word.
And
In
on
that silence,
Saturday,
he could hear
10 a.m.,
for the first time what he could not hear before. Off in the distance, he could hear the blacksmith's hammers falling upon the iron,
speakers
and their syncopation and their
straight into the
song.
radio station.
Off in the other distance, he could hear the song of the women as their pestles fell upon the mortars, and the sifting of the grain, and the seed, and the calabash. Off in the distance, he could hear the woodworkers working at the edge of the forest. Off further in the distance, he could hear the song of the people in the fields gathering up the cotton, harvesting and preparing the indigo in its vats. He could hear all their songs. He could hear, even though they could not hear each other, they could only hear themselves, but he could hear them all. The child who came to see us all could hear them all. And his father said, "Look now, all the people, listen. They cannot hear each other, and yet all of their songs are in harmony." That is the song of the village. This is the goal of our profession, the profession of the Jadis. We do not produce any tangible product like the blacksmith or any of the other professions in the society. We do not take life nor give it. We do not engage in any physical works, but we play the music, we hear the stories, we sing the songs, we keep the memory of everyone alive. Civilization flows through our mouths. The power of it at its meaning is in our breasts. We make of ourselves living libraries. This is what we contribute in exchange for the works that we enjoy from all the others. The world is composed of Nyama, the power that moves and binds all life. And the greatest concentration of Nyama is in story and song. This is our work. This is the work you must do and carry on. For when my time comes and I pass, you will do this work and you will pass it on to the generation that comes after you, and on and on and on again. Civilization will experience death and rebirth through our words, through our song, through our stories and our music. Remember, you are the child who came to see us all. You do not fully understand the meaning of that name, but it is tied to your destiny. Walk with it, and the day will come when you fully understand it. Do not deny it. Do not turn from it. It is the path you came here from heaven to achieve. Time came when his own father passed on, and he had his family and children that he was raising. And like his father, he was traveling around the society, through the countryside, listening to the music of the towns, of the village, of the city, and singing their songs at the bar, the great council, presenting the words, poetry, and prose and music of the people, keeping informed the princes and the kings, till one time it came upon a town empty of life. People were gone. The implements of their works lay where they left them. What sort of magic is this? A whole town village, its inhabitants spirited away. He could hear a child off in the rushes of the river crying out for his mother. He gathered the child, and the child explained, told him devils came on horseback and took the people away. In a single day, his mother hid him in the river, made him run away. He didn't want to leave her. He's trying to find his mother. Child came to see us home, brought the child back to the capital of the empire, Kankan. Speaking now before the bar, talking about what he witnessed, he was astonished at the lack of sincere interest. This was the interregnum. The emperor was barely holding on to the federation. The petty princes were breaking away. The 12 gates of Mandan were closed. They were all fighting, jockeying for position. All had aspirations to become the new emperor, to form their own dynasty. The current emperor could barely hold on. The child who came to see us all went on his own investigation and found that a small select few of the princes were engaging in their battles against each other, selling their captives to the devils on horseback who would take them out to the sea of darkness, never to return. Word of this spread, and even greater fighting. Heroes emerged like Al-Hajj Matam, fighting against the slavers. Others fought with them, others fought forward against them. The land was rent asunder. And the prophecy was being experienced. Just as God has blessed this land above all others with prosperity and peace, so too will the people experience a humiliation never before seen. And so now, the Jenny who formed their council began to discuss what it is that they could do. They had sung the Badi song, saying that the people were too fractured, too divided to resist the princes. And while the deliberations went on and the fighting continued, more and more people were spirited away, entire villages at a time. The civilization was being picked apart piece by piece. Even the emperor was seduced by the foreigners, the devils on horseback. And so the journey happened upon a plan. The child who came to see us all was specially selected with a few others to go around the entire society and gather up all its knowledge.
When he's done,
They first went to the people who worked the agriculture and learned of their crop cycle, the cycle that was the lifeblood of the empire. Cotton, indigo, peanuts, and rice. They learned the herbs from the old women. They learned the knowledge from the hunters of how to go into the wilds and find what you need and survive. They went to the Bible and learned, memorized entire books of jurisprudence, memorizing the Quran and spiritual texts, spiritual ceremonies for protection and strengthening of the spirit against great calamities. They made of themselves living libraries. The whole of the civilization now was in their heads, and thus prepared their heads were shaved, anointed with protections for the journey to come. And thus blessed, they each marched to the coast and walked willingly through the door of no return. Now on the other side of the ocean, in a hard-driven land, in this place where people were worked to death, fire raged in the hearts and bellies of unsettled people. Here in this land, the truth was made manifest. Here in this land, the child who came to see us all at last saw us all and began to hear the songs that he heard in his initiation, hear the songs in his divinations, hear the songs in his visions and understand their meaning. Now he had the words. Oh Lord, how will I go in married altar? Will always hear bring down the children. I go freezing. Oh Lord, oh Lord, how you marry, oh marry, what foreign man. If there's Monday, in your hand. Oh Lord, oh Lord, raise them up, raise them up, high and well. Drop on down, sit down, raise them up, high and low. Drop on down. Oh Lord, I'm watching God work all day. songs that was once sung in joy were now sung in sorrow, giving strength for an impossible tomorrow. He could now hear and understand the words, and he went around alone, just like back at home, traveling between the people. He even teach an old master when he could, ignorant as he was, teaching him to switch away from tobacco and sugar, teaching him how to cultivate cotton, rice, and indigo, and peanuts to keep the soil strong and vibrant. The crop cycle that kept his civilization alive now maybe it would bring some ease to his people crushed under the burden of producing sugar and tobacco for an ever hungry, consuming society. Time came, he could hear them working home, he could hear the songs. Now he understood the words of what they were saying. He understood their meaning. Times were not as hard as they'd been before because the crop cycle was working out. The crop cycle that made Master more money than he could ever dream of making sugar and tobacco. Cotton was king. And he had brought some degree of respect to his people, but he kept his head down, kept the knowledge, kept telling stories to the youth and passing them on before they took them away too. Because the civilization had to continue to live. The civilization needed the water. Bring me little water, bring me little water now. Bring me little water, bring me little water now. Can't you hear me calling you? Can't you help me now? I need a little water. Everyone wants to walk, you become running back in the hand. I'm bringing water fast as I can. We don't want to see it. We don't want to now. We don't want to see it. And we don't want to run. The demand for that cotton got so high. The industrialists in the north needed it. Before long, the cotton that was being produced by his people was being produced for another people. People that made animals of them. The work only seemed to get harder. They didn't understand the remedy to this situation. Some people were talking about escape. They saw the horrors that they did to them that tried. There was even talk on the winds about war. War with them. War with what they were producing. The whole world was drunk on their produce. Produce they themselves would never taste.
The conversion is guaranteed. The conversion is StreamYard.
is probably the biggest thing.
Days got rougher and rougher.
It's just,
Before long, he could hear the
it's
song,
just me. It's
the song he had heard before. The words now he could understand.
Yeah, I should have listened on the other end, I think. Oops. Okay. Well, there. Okay. Great. That's fine. Yeah, I'm moving, as you can see. Tomorrow I'm calling with Cassandra. And then doing a video tour with Skyler. And then, yeah, do you have time tomorrow? We're going to be in the middle of moving. Well, after that, I'm going to be, after I get done with that tour, I'm basically going to jump in and help wrap up whatever needs to be done for this setup. So, be an extra set.
Things got so hard, people start thinking about what was going to be on the other side. Music was just barely enough to keep them alive. Many
That's fine.
leaned even harder into their spirituality. He gave them what knowledge he could to take them through it. They continue to sing their songs, trying to survive, trying to keep their spirit alive, trying to keep the sedation. Trying,
Make it present.
trying, out of this road, still I'm trying, trying, out of the road. Oh Lord, I'm trying so hard. Nobody knows my troubles are hard. Oh Lord, I'm trying so hard. Nobody knows my troubles are hard. And I'm trying, I'm making the move. People started running. The time to fight had come. People saw fighting in the fields. People were joining up the military, calling for black folks, calling them contraband. And now the child who came to see us all will see it all come to a head. Late in his years, unable to take up the fighting. Besides, he had to keep the knowledge alive. Eventually, the hardship and the war passed. People found some sense of what they call freedom. And the child who came to see us all was late in his years, managed to keep much of his family together and was passing on knowledge to his children. He had managed to escape the fighting off an Indian reservation. And there, passing on the knowledge to his children with the hope that one day the return would happen, that the civilization would continue to live through them. Centuries passed. Children passed on the knowledge from the child who came to see us all. One on to the next. Knowledge of the old ways. Remember now, if there's a bird on the roof of the house, somebody in the house is going to die. Prepare for yourselves. Remember now, when you dream of fish, someone in your family is pregnant, about to give birth. Welcome new life. Remember, when you see yams in your dreams, that's abundance. Prepare for the coming of many things. If your left hand is itching and you scratching on it, that means you're about to give up some money. When your right hand is itching, this means you're about to receive some money. Remember now the softness with which I teach you these things. Remember, look up at those stars. You see that? People call that constellation the Big Dipper and Little Dipper, but we once called it the feet of the hen will never trample the head of the chicks. No one who teaches you should ever harm you. That's the meaning of this proverb. And like so many others, passed on. Love your gap, the gap in your teeth. That's the mark of our people, where we came from. Love your flesh, the color of your skin. We are the people of the sun. We came from a place of wonder and beauty. One day we conquered that. That's what Papa used to teach. And on, generation upon generation, until at last. Wonder-eyed child, the child who came knowing, went back home. Child who came knowing, born with a gift of language, was speaking early, speaking properly, speaking with an accent far different from the people around him in the city where he was born. People used to say, oh, that child there, he's got an old soul. But his grandmother, the keeper of the secrets, said, no, that child, he ain't got an old soul. He has an ancient soul. He is like our ancestors returned for some important purpose. The day came that madness gripped him. The day came that madness drove him away. He went off into the east, back home, back to where his people came from, to learn the knowledge, to get his mind right. And once there, they placed the Korah in his hand, and he began to learn and sing the old songs and pick up the old language faster than anyone they'd ever seen. The elders began to hem and haw and whisper amongst themselves, and then begging the child who came knowing to come closer. It's time for your initiation into the traditions. Time for you to be counted amongst the Jedi. Upon his initiation, they told him the story of those who went willingly, crossed the sea of darkness to keep the people connected, to keep the civilization alive. It was no small mistake or mere coincidence that madness put you. Your ancestors heard the music of the Korah and would not allow you to walk upon the path that you were walking. They forced you down the path you were meant to walk, the path you came to this earth to walk. The path they made so many sacrifices to start upon so many centuries ago. You've come here to achieve the impossible. That thing so impossible we call it prophecy. That thing that was strange and mysterious to us is now clear. Just as God has blessed this place above all others in peace and prosperity, so too as will he heap upon these people a humiliation never before seen. But endure. Persevere. Keep to the knowledge and the faith, and you will be elevated. And the day will come when the slave will return home as king. And so the child who came to see us all, saw us all, told our story, heard our song, and passed it on until the child who came knowing completed his mission. And it is done.
Wow. As Songs of the Forgotten comes to a close, we're reminded that these stories, these messages, were never truly lost. They were waiting to be heard, waiting to be honored, and waiting to be carried forward by all of us. Call to Conscience exists for this very reason, to lift the voices, the history, and the legacy that built our community, and to make sure they are never forgotten again. Before you leave tonight or you tune out, wherever you're tuning in from, we invite you to continue this journey with us. Join us this Saturday, the 14th at 10 a.m. for the grand opening of the Call to Conscience Museum. This museum is more than an exhibit. It is a living archive of Black history, culture, resistance, and excellence rooted right here in our community. Thank you to Mr. Arsalan Ibriham, storyteller, playwright, and thank all of you for bearing witness. Take these songs and messages with you, share them, protect them. We'll see you Saturday morning as we open the doors to history. Good night, and thank all of you for answering the call to conscience.